Fred was St. John's football for forever. He left a great legacy, but the legacy is not just him, it's the people that he left behind. As coaches, we all want to win, but I mean, the big thing with Fred is he was all about teaching. You teach about life, you know, you teach lessons. You know, you accept everybody for who they are. You know, the team is bigger than the individual. You know, the thing with Fred is, you know, he was more concerned about, hey, you know, be a good person, you know, live the Jesuit philosophy, and he did. He had a passion for helping people, developing people, but, you know, I think that kind of intertwined with the goals of this place. And I think that's why he did it for so long, and he was so good at it.
I don't think anybody would disagree that the longer that we live, we understand that life's pretty hard and that there are very difficult things to deal with in life. There's a ton of adversity. And I think that as coaches, you know, you're teaching a sport in the moment, but you're really teaching that sport to teach that young man how to live his life properly. I think I became a coach because I was around coaches like him that made me feel like I could do anything. He was incredible at connecting with everybody, and I remember that as a player, just feeling like I would run through a wall for him.
He really never went to a day of work. This was his passion, his love. He had a magical way of connecting with all walks of life, whether it was sports, whether it was a student that was down on his luck. Very loving, very committed, and most every player that would ever have played for him would tell you that they would run through a wall for him. And when you hear that statement, that's when a coach is touching you.
It wasn't just athletics for him. It was all the kids.
What Fred had that nobody had that I've ever seen as good as he was able to do it is he knew what to say to each kid. He knew what each kid needed. That is a unique quality that a teacher and coach can spot instantly what a kid needs. I think it's the greatest quality that a teacher and coach can have. Fred had that above and beyond anybody that I ever worked with at St. John's.
He was a great coach, a great teacher, a great husband, a great father, but most of all, he was a great man, a great friend, a great human being. In that field, it is most appropriate that it be named in his honor. He was ahead of his time, and really, he was the classic example of a man for others, the Jesuit motto.
Everything about him was first class, and there was never any shortcuts. You know, he's the reason why I became a teacher and a coach. He had a great rapport with the team. You did not want to disappoint Coach Byer and not live up to his standard, because that's how much we thought of him.
When people think about St. John's athletics, Fred's one of the first names that comes up. He came across as this guy that was so super serious and so intimidating, but if you really knew Fred, he was so genuine to all kids, which was so important. As a person around St. John's, it was this whole persona and this character that was Fred, of who he was, and so unique. And I think as many of us think back on him, his most notable quality was that he cared for kids day in and day out across the board, whether it be on the practice field, in the gym, in the hallways, in the commons. He was just always here for the kids, and that was what was awesome about him.
Mr. Byer was an incredible person who had a ton of influence and impacted so many people's lives, including my own. Whether he was a coach, a father, a second father, he taught us all so many valuable lessons in life. Discipline, mental toughness, hard work, humility, compassion, and the beautiful thing was, it didn't matter who you were. I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great coaches, some Hall of Fame coaches, and the best were never about the X's and O's. The best could connect with all different types of people and inspire them. They could move people to do things that they may have thought were impossible or too difficult. Fred Byer could inspire. He could move people that way. He was extremely inspirational. That's the highest compliment I could give any coach. And we all knew Fred was more than just a coach. Ultimately, he embodied the St. John's mantra of men for others and what the school means to so many of us. Congrats to the Byer family, Sharon, Tony, Chris, and Andy. And thank you for allowing me to be part of this day. And of course, tonight, go Titans.